I didn't think anything was wrong at first. It started with small things, things that were easy to ignore. A cabinet left open, a light I was sure I turned off, suddenly on. At the time, I just blamed myself. I live alone, so there was no one else it could have been. At least that's what I told myself. The first moment that actually made me stop and think was the food. I went grocery shopping on a Sunday, nothing unusual, just enough for the week. But by Tuesday, things were already missing. Not everything, just small things. A yogurt, half a loaf of bread, stuff I knew I hadn't eaten yet. I remember standing in my kitchen, staring into the fridge, trying to convince myself I just forgot. But something felt off. I tried to brush it off, I really did. But then it kept happening. Little things, every day. Objects slightly moved, doors not how I left them. Even my shower felt different, like it had already been used. That's when I started getting paranoid. I checked my locks constantly. Front door, back door, windows, everything was always locked. No signs of a break-in, nothing missing that was valuable, just those small, strange changes. One night, I decided to test it. Before going to bed, I took a chair and placed it directly against my bedroom door. If someone opened it, the chair would fall. There'd be no way I wouldn't hear it. I remember feeling a little stupid doing it, but also relieved, like I finally had control again. I woke up around 3:12 a.m. I don't know why. No noise, no dream, just awake. At first, everything seemed normal. My room was dark, silent, but then I noticed something. The chair. It wasn't against the door anymore. It was pushed slightly to the side, just enough for the door to open. I froze. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I just stared at the door, waiting, listening. Then I heard it, a soft sound from somewhere inside the house. A footstep, slow, heavy, like someone trying not to be heard, but not quite succeeding. Another step, then another. It was coming closer. I grabbed my phone slowly, trying not to make a sound. I thought about calling the police, but I didn't even know what I would say. There's someone in my house? I had no proof. The footsteps stopped, right outside my door. I swear, I could hear breathing on the other side. Then the doorknob moved, just slightly, like whoever it was testing it, but it didn't open because I had locked it. There was a pause, a long one, and then a soft knock, 3 times, slow, deliberate. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Minutes passed, or at least it felt like minutes. Eventually, I must have fallen asleep or passed out because the next thing I remember was sunlight coming through my window. Everything was quiet, too quiet. The chair was back in place, pressed firmly against the door, exactly how I left it. For a second, I almost convinced myself it was all a dream, until I opened the door and saw the hallway. At the end of it, the attic door was open. I never go into the attic, ever. I stood there for a long time, just staring at it. Something about it felt wrong, like it had been opened recently. I told myself I needed to check, that I couldn't just ignore it anymore, so I grabbed a flashlight and slowly walked toward it. Each step felt heavier than the last, like my body was trying to stop me. When I reached the ladder, I hesitated. Then I started climbing. The attic was dark, cold, and it smelled, not like dust, something worse. I pulled myself up and shined the flashlight around. At first, it looked normal. Boxes, old furniture. Then I saw it. In the corner, a small area, cleared out. There was a blanket, a pillow, empty food wrappers. Someone had been living up there. My stomach dropped. I stepped closer, heart racing. That's when I noticed something else. The blanket was still warm. I froze, slowly, very slowly. I turned around, and that's when I heard it, right behind me. A voice, soft, calm. "You're not supposed to be up here." I ran. I don't even remember climbing down. I just remember hitting the floor and sprinting out of the house. I didn't stop, not until I was down the street. I called the police, told them everything. When they searched the house, they didn't find anyone. No signs of forced entry, No fingerprints, nothing. But they did find one thing. Inside my bedroom, under my bed, another blanket and a pillow, like someone had been sleeping just a few feet away from me for who knows how long. I moved out the next day, but sometimes I still wake up at night feeling like someone is watching me, and I can't help but think, what if they didn't leave? What if they just followed me?